Hey guys, this is Page from Vivo.com, and well, this is the new Oppo F17 Pro that Oppo has been hyping up quite a bit. So what's new with the F17 Pro? What's the hype all about? Well, I'm going to tell you everything. So let's start with telling you what's in the box of the Oppo F17 Pro. So in the box, you get this transparent silicone case, these earphones, the USB-C cable, the 30-watt charging adapter, and obviously there's the good-looking Oppo F17 Pro. I mean, I'll tell you truly, I was kind of expecting a beautiful looking smartphone because I'd seen the promos and everything, and it's clear that there are two major highlights of the F17 Pro, the design and the cameras. Taking it one by one, the Oppo F17 Pro is indeed a very stylish looking phone, especially with the matte glass finish and the pattern here. And what really stands out is this striking blue color and a slight purple hue around the edges, and I think it looks really good with the light falling on it. So this is a beautiful looking smartphone, but what really impressed me about the Oppo F17 Pro is how compact and lightweight this is. I mean, most of the phones that I've used recently are close to 200 grams, and on the other hand, the Oppo F17 Pro is just very lightweight at 164 grams, and you can just feel that. Plus, it's also very sleek at just 7.4 millimeters thickness, and yeah, this is not an overtly huge phone, so I like that. The display size is 6.4 inches, and that means this is not a massive phone. Plus, the display here is a Super AMOLED panel with FHD Plus resolution, and it's the usual 60Hz panel, but you all know my preference is AMOLED over a high refresh rate IPS LCD any day. And this is a good display. It gets fairly bright, it's very vibrant, and it has all the AMOLED features that we all like. There's also the in-display fingerprint scanner here, which is very fast, and there's also very fast face unlock via the front camera, and I like the animation on the punch hole when the face unlock is in action. So rounding up the design is the headphone jack, the single speaker, the USB-C port, the usual buttons, and the dedicated dual SIM plus micro SD slot. Highlight number 2 is the cameras. The F17 Pro comes with 4 cameras on the back. A 48 megapixel primary camera, an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens, and a couple of mono lenses, which are used for some really cool portrait mode features. So I've only had the device for a few days, and the photos from the main camera look pretty good, especially when there's a lot of light or simply when it's daytime. I haven't been able to take a lot of low light shots, but so far things look decent. Same is the case with the ultra wide angle lens, it does a good job, but what actually makes the cameras interesting here are some of the features it borrows from the more high-end Reno 4 Pro. There's AI color portrait, which captures the person in the frame in color while the rest of the background is black and white. It's very cool. Here are a few photos with the AI color portrait, and yeah, it looks super cool. The separation is fantastic. And here's another example, and you know what, I enjoy this feature on the Reno 4 Pro and I've liked it on the F17 Pro. There's also the night flare portrait, which is great for taking some really cool night portrait shots with lens flare effects in the background. I tried it out and the results are pretty cool. Another cool feature is AI clear portrait, which uses AI to make sure that there are no missing details on the face. So I enabled AI clear portrait in the camera settings and took a few comparison shots with the feature turned off and turned on. And as you can see, the difference wasn't massive, but yeah, there were slightly better details in the photos that had AI clear portrait turned on. Now, some of the really cool features are also present on the front. So there are actually dual cameras here, a 16 megapixel main camera and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. And the depth sensor here is actually useful because there's the AI color portrait on the front as well. And even here it works very well, as you can see. Apart from that, the front camera also has AI Super Night Portrait, which promises to take better portrait selfies in the night. In my time, the results were mixed, but in places like a restaurant or other slightly lit places, that should work well. So the camera features are actually pretty cool, but what about the rest of the phone? Let's talk about that. So on the performance side of things, the Oppo F17 Pro comes with the Helio P95 chipset, 8GB RAM and 128GB storage. Now, the Helio P95 isn't exactly a new chipset or a chipset that can take on the competition, but at the time of shooting this video, I don't know the price of this phone, so I'll wait for that. As for the usual day-to-day usage, the phone does feel fast and snappy. And as for gaming, PUBG Mobile defaults to HD and high graphics, and the gaming experience was fairly good in my brief usage. As for the software, there's ColorOS 7.2 on board on top of Android 10, and it has all the features you need, including a couple of new features. So there's the new Dock Vault app, which lets you keep all your personal government IDs in one safe place. There's also a quick return bubble, which lets you minimize apps and games and switch back to them pretty quickly. As for the pre-installed apps, there aren't a lot. There are obviously the Oppo apps, and there's Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and WPS Office, all of which you can uninstall, so that's good. And when it comes to the battery, the F17 Pro has a 4000 mAh battery with 30 watt SuperVOOC charger that should charge the phone pretty quickly. Well, all in all, like I said at the start, the biggest USPs of the Oppo F17 Pro are its design and its cameras. And you know what, in my brief usage of the phone, I can tell you that on both those fronts, the phone does pretty well. I mean, as you can see, the design is very sleek, very lightweight, and there's no doubt that this looks and feels like a premium phone. I like it. On the camera front, it has some very cool features that we have seen in high-end Oppo phones, and those features work great here as well. Having said that, it'll be interesting to see the price of the F17 Pro because the price to performance ratio is something I want to know. So yeah, I'll wait for that before making a final judgment. Anyway, what do you think of the new Oppo F17 Pro? Tell us in the comment section below. Also give this video a like if you enjoyed it and make sure to share it with your friends. Lastly, subscribe to our channel for more amazing tech videos. Well, that's me signing off. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one.